My name is Maya. I'm 23 now. For months ago I thought I understood betrayal. I was wrong. Real betrayal doesn't scream or break dishes. It whispers in phone calls you're not meant to overhear. It hides behind forced smiles and carefully crafted lies. And sometimes, it comes from the people who say they love you most. This is the story of how I lost my family and found my strength. The foundation. Growing up, I thought every childhood was like mine. Mom worked double shifts as a physical therapist, exhausted but always there for homework help. Dad was always traveling for his sales job, sending postcards from cities I'd never heard of, promising we'd visit someday. The house on Maple Street was Mom's pride. Modest 2 stories, blue shutters and a wraparound porch. "This is our forever home, Maya," she'd say while we planted tulips. "Someday it'll be yours." When I was 12, everything changed. Dad returned from a business trip looking distant, guilty. 3 weeks later, the divorce papers arrived. Mom cried once, in the kitchen when she thought I was asleep, and then threw herself into work, determined to keep our little world together. "He's paying child support," she said, voice steady though I knew she was hurting. "And he set aside money for your college. That's something." Dad moved to Phoenix permanently with his new wife, Jessica, who had a 10-year-old daughter, Brittany. Suddenly, I had a stepfamily I never asked for and a father more interested in his new life than the one he left behind. The cracks. At 17, Mom was diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer. The doctors talked about treatment and survival rates with cautious optimism, but I saw the fear in their eyes. Mom faced it with quiet strength, organized her finances, updated her will, made sure I understood what would happen to everything. "The house is yours," she told me one evening on the porch swing, the sun setting behind the maple trees she planted when I was little. "No matter what, you'll always have a home." She fought for 18 months. Dad visited twice. Once at diagnosis, once near the end, always with Jessica and Brittany, turning private moments into awkward social calls. "How are you holding up, Maya?" Jessica would ask, sympathy more performance than concern. Brittany sulked, resentful of the forced family appearances. Mom passed away 2 weeks before my 18th birthday. I held her hand, whispering promises I wasn't sure I could keep. That I'd be okay, make her proud, take care of the house she loved. The rescue. After the funeral, life blurred into casseroles and paperwork. I was drowning in insurance forms and bills when Dad showed up, arms full of groceries. "You shouldn't be dealing with this alone," he said. For a moment, I felt the warmth of a father who wanted to protect me. Jessica appeared behind him, hugging me like she already owned the house and my grief. Brittany, now 20 and home from college, genuinely offered to help, organizing and ordering groceries online. Jessica quickly took charge, sorting Mom's papers, setting up bills, creating what she called a manageable system. Dad handled repairs, cleaning gutters and furnace checks. "This place needs more work than I thought," he said one night. "The roof needs replacing soon and the foundation is settling." "It's a lot for an 18-year-old. "College starts in the fall," I said softly. "I'll be 4 hours away." "Exactly," Jessica said. "You can't maintain a house from that distance. We'll stay here, take care of it, cover utilities and taxes." I reluctantly agreed. It was temporary, they said, until I graduated and figured out what to do with the place. The golden years. College was a refuge. My dorm became a sanctuary where I could grieve away from Dad and Jessica's well-meaning but suffocating presence. My roommate Zoe became the sister I never had, listening to my stories about Mom and helping me sort through my grief. Home for holidays, the house felt different. Jessica had redecorated subtly, new curtains, fresh paint, different throw pillows. She kept Mom's furniture mostly, but the house was slowly reflecting her taste more than Mom's memory. "I hope you don't mind," she said at Thanksgiving. "I thought the wallpaper needed freshening." I minded but didn't say so. They were paying bills, keeping the house safe. Who was I to complain? Christmas felt almost normal. Jessica cooked, Brittany helped organize Mom's recipes, and Dad seemed relaxed. We decorated the tree together, pretending for a few hours to be a family. Spring break was harder. Mom's favorite reading chair moved to make room for Jessica's exercise gear. The herb garden replaced with rocks and drought-resistant plants. "It's easier to maintain," Jessica said when I looked at the backyard. "You won't have to worry about gardening someday." Someday. The word hung heavy, but I was too grateful to question it. The settling. By senior year, the house felt theirs, Not legally but practically and emotionally. Jessica joined the neighborhood book club. Brittany, now working in Phoenix, kept her childhood room just as she left it. Dad built a workshop in the basement, finding purpose there. We've been thinking, Dad said during a call, about what happens after you graduate. Any thoughts on where you want to live? I plan to return home to start my life. I'll probably live here a while, I said. Save money, get settled. There was a pause. Jessica called from the background about dinner. Well, of course, Dad said. We just want to be clear. This house has been our home for 4 years. Jessica's put down roots. Our home. Not mine. The difference felt sharp. Third turn. Graduation was bittersweet. Mom should have been there, tears of pride shining in her eyes. Instead, Dad and Jessica applauded, distant. We're so proud, Jessica said at dinner. Your mother would be thrilled. I had a job lined up downtown, ready to build a life here. I imagined redecorating, making the house my own. When I arrived home that humid June Saturday, something felt off. The yard was immaculate, Jessica's touch, but the porch furniture was different. Wind chimes hung where Mom's bird feeders once swayed. I tried my key. It didn't fit. Jessica opened the door, surprised to see me. Paya, what are you doing here? I live here, I said, laughing. Did you change the locks? She glanced inside. Dad's voice called faintly from another room. We weren't expecting you. I told you I'd be home after graduation. I start Monday. Jessica stepped aside, but her posture was guarded. Dad appeared, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Brittany lounged on the couch. Can we talk privately? Dad asked. Mom's old office was gone, replaced by a meditation room. The desk replaced with yoga mats and diffusers. Another piece of Mom erased. Dad leaned against the door, hands shaking. I need to tell you something, he said. I should have told you sooner. He'd told Jessica the house was his, left to him by Mom as part of their divorce. Jessica believed she lived in her husband's home, not my inheritance. For 4 years, you let her think she owned my house? I was going to tell her, Dad said, but it never felt like the right time. She's made this place her home. Improvements to my house, I said. Dad pulled keys from his pocket. I changed the locks last month after a break-in. You changed the locks without telling me? Jessica's happy here. She talks about remodeling. How long do you need to figure this out? Maybe until the holidays. I walked back to the living room, enemy territory now. Jessica and Brittany whispered, silencing as I entered. The warmth was gone, replaced by cold calculation. Everything okay? Jessica asked, tone fake. Fine, I said, though nothing felt fine. The weeks that followed were unbearable. Jessica's hostility was surgical, small cruelties just shy of obvious. She used all the hot water in the morning, leaving me freezing. Cooked elaborate dinners without inviting me. Claimed she was optimizing the kitchen by putting my things in hard-to-reach places. Moved my laundry to the basement floor. I don't get why you're still here, she said one morning. You have a job. Most your age want their own place. Brittany followed her lead, cold and distant. Don't you have somewhere else to be? She sneered one night. Some of us actually live here. Dad seemed blind to the war. When I complained, he made excuses. She's stressed, he said. You know how she is. 3 weeks in, Jessica cornered me. We need to talk, she said. This isn't working. You're grown with a good job. It's time to build your own life. She slid apartment listings across the table. Nice places near my office. This is my home, I said quietly. No, it's our home, she said. You make everyone uncomfortable. The family. Not my family, but their family. The breaking point. I lasted a week longer. Jessica's campaign escalated. Dinner parties and book clubs filling the house with strangers who ignored me or treated me like hired help. She removed Mom's photos. Threw away her recipe box. Then one Friday evening I came home to a for sale sign planted in the yard. Hands shaking, key barely fitting the lock, I confronted Jessica. What's that sign? Oh, that, she said, dismissive. Your father and I decided to sell. We have an offer. You can't sell my house. Jessica scoffed, condescending. We've put thousands into maintenance. The roof on my house. Dad appeared, looking defeated. Princess, he said patronizingly, let's talk reasonably. You want to sell my house without telling me? It's not that simple, he said. Jessica's right, expenses add up. Expenses you volunteered to pay while living rent-free. Jessica slammed a spoon down. Rent-free? We pay taxes, utilities, maintenance. What have you contributed besides entitlement? I wanted them out. Tonight. Jessica laughed coldly. You don't belong here. We've made this our home. You made your life here with my mother's inheritance. Jessica shrieked. Your father told me this was his house, part of the divorce settlement. Dad's silence was answer enough. 4 years of lies crashed down around me. We're family, Dad said weakly. No, I said. Family doesn't lie for years. Family doesn't try to sell each other's inheritance. Family doesn't make each other strangers in their own home. You have 24 hours to get out, I said, voice steady. The reckoning. They left by Sunday. Not willingly, but because Jessica's pride wouldn't let her stay after learning the truth. Her rage turned cold and calculated. This isn't over, she warned, packing. You have receipts for improvements to someone else's house, I said. That's not legal rights. Dad tried once more. We can work this out. I was your daughter when you lied to your wife. When you let her try to sell my inheritance. But that wasn't enough to be family. The house felt enormous but lighter. I walked room to room, what remained of Mom's presence, what had been erased. Jessica took down kitchen curtains, removed wallpaper but left damaged walls. Brittany left a note on her dresser. I'm sorry it ended like this. I hope you know I did care. Her apology hurt most because it felt genuine. The healing. 6 months later, the house finally feels like home again. I repainted, restored Mom's herb garden and replaced what was lost. Smaller than I remember, but it's mine, really mine, for the first time since Mom died. Dad calls sometimes late at night. I know I made mistakes, he said. But you're still my daughter. Being your daughter wasn't enough to make you tell the truth for 4 years, I replied. Or stop your wife from trying to sell my house. I'm not sure what it was enough for. Last month the divorce papers arrived. Jessica left him. She couldn't trust a man who lied about something so fundamental. I felt sorry for him briefly. His attempt to keep everyone happy cost him everything. His marriage, his stepdaughter, his relationship with me. But mostly I felt free. The house on Maple Street is truly mine again. I make decisions on repairs and changes based on what I want. Sometimes, late at night, sitting in Mom's favorite chair, I feel her presence. I think she'd be proud that I fought for what she left me, refusing to let lies erase her legacy. Peace isn't built on lies, even comfortable ones. It's built on truth, on knowing where you belong, and who you can trust. I belong here. In this house that love built, surrounded by the memory of the woman who made sure I'd always have a home.